All right, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Hook the Line. Today, we're going to be doing another game preview for college basketball. But first things first, you may notice we've got a special guest on, our good friend, Marshall Wang. Yes, sir. Marshall, you want to introduce yourself?
What up, guys? I'm Marshall.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Marshall went to school with us at Purdue, so big Purdue fan, big Purdue ball knower, is as he's known in the friend group. We're
Yes.
talking Purdue Auburn today, December 20th, the Indy Classic in Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Both teams coming in ranked. Purdue coming off a bad loss to Iowa State, but also has some good wins on there, like against Texas Tech, big blowout win. Auburn's got two bad losses, but to two pretty good teams. Other than that, they've got a win to St. John's. So we're going to learn a lot about both these teams. We're going to talk in the previews, giving our predictions on the games today. I don't know which one of you wants to start, given your take on here, but Yusko, I normally start with you, unless Marshall, you want to go first.
No, our guests always go first. So, Mr. Wang, take it away.
I think in order for us to beat Auburn, Fletcher Lawyer needs a fucking game.
Oh,
Loki has been playing very soft the past few games, and we need something from our team. Oh, why the fuck is somebody calling me?
okay.
And
So Fletcher, what have you seen from him that makes you think he's soft? Like, what do you think he can improve in his game to make you say, all right, I think he's playing a little bit better, playing more aggressive, things like of that nature.
like for example, last game, his first shot attempt was trying to get a foul from a 3-point. Like, stop trying to play baby. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
got you. I got you.
like I love the energy from Braden last game. Like five, I believe 5 steals, almost a quadruple double. Like you got to play both sides of the fucking, use my language, but um,
No, yeah.
both sides of the court to win games. And Pettiford is a dog, and we got to control that. So
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, Fletcher, it's obviously one of our core three. It's important for him to get his shots going. I like how you mentioned his he kind of likes to play the finesse game a little bit, but when he's at his best, he's driving the rim and um, trying to stretch the floor because he's a great shooter and stuff like that. He had a brutal game against Iowa State, 5 points. It's one five from three. Really couldn't really get going. So it's obviously important against a good team like Auburn, neutral site. Um, got to play off our Trey Coppin, Ren, Oscar Clough, get our shooters open like Fletcher Lawyer, Braden Smith, CJ Cox, and then play inside out. Because that was kind of the big thing. I know we talked about it amongst our squad, but Purdue really didn't like to go to the bigs down low in the post in the first half of Minnesota, which was kind of frightening, which probably made the game closer than it should have been. And then they came out in the second half and really fed the ball to Trey, fed the ball to Oscar, and then played from there. Whether it was them getting buckets themselves on their hook shots or um, forcing the defense to make a play on them and then get some of their teammates open. So that's kind of the style that I wish I would see from Purdue, maybe to come out, start the game, right? Make them beat you that way first and then play off of it. I think that was kind of something that I took away from the last game and would love to see in an important game like this, coming off a little bit of a rough stretch.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that Iowa State one, not a great win there, and I think you take a lot away from that going into this Auburn game because not that they're completely similar teams, but they both got good guard play, very similar to that, and then they've got a big man down low, not exactly a center, but Keyshawn Hall is probably Auburn's best weapon offensively that people don't talk about a lot. So Todd Pettiford's obviously the one that's running the point, but Keyshawn Hall versus Trey Kaufman-Renn, I think is going to be a huge matchup in this game. And I'd obviously lean Trey Kaufman-Renn. I mean, the guy's an All-American and he's going to be great. But it's going to be really decided, I think, in that matchup down low. So what you talked about with the interior, I'm curious to hear, Marshall, your thoughts on, you talked about Fletcher in the outside game with the guards, what you think of the interior right now and if it's strong enough to compete with some of these, because you watch Michigan play and, when we got to play against somebody like that dominates the rebounding, dominates the interior, has size, if we're going to be able to match up with them. And Auburn's a good little test to kind of get ready for stuff like that.
I honestly think we'll be fine. Um, Oscar Clough, we brought him in for a reason, and I think we're not used to playing two. Last year, I feel like TKR was the main five, and this year we're kind of going back to the two big man, and I think Painter is doing well adjusting to that, and it's gonna be better in the future. It's right now a little. I feel like Oscar Clough and TKR need better chemistry, but it's gonna develop towards later in the season.
But Harry, I got a question for you. Who is Auburn going to come out and match up against Purdue? Maybe in the big in down low and on the outside in terms of their matchups. Who do you think they come out with starting the game?
Yeah.
Does Hall go on Trey?
Yeah,
Murphy
Hall
goes
Hall is
on
going to have to
Clough.
go on Trey. Hall is the most intense player on our team. I honestly think he might be the best player on our team.
Mm,
I know people talk about Todd Pettiford, but I think Keyshawn Hall is, right up there, right next to him. And by the end of the season, that's going to be a guy that carries Auburn in March. Um, but down low, it's really a mismatch, which is why I speak to the inside game. Is Purdue's going to have to use those big men, whether it's Jacobson or Clough, because that's what Michigan did. And I look at the Michigan game, I look at the Arizona game. I didn't get to watch a lot of the Arizona game, but just in terms of statistically, Auburn gets out rebounded in a lot of categories. And if Purdue can be efficient with their shot making and good on the boards, this one I honestly don't know how they're going to be able to keep up other than just extremely good shot making from Keyshawn Hall and Todd
mm,
Pettiford, because you've got Kevin Overton, who's a transfer, played really well against NC State, was able to get that win. But Auburn also, we had like 19 turnovers in that game. And against another team like Purdue, that's not going to work. And also, the hidden gem in this game's at Indy. You get a home court advantage as well. The last time these two teams played, it was in Birmingham. So Auburn fans, obviously, they're going to travel up to Indy, but they had the edge there in Birmingham, and it wasn't particularly close. But this is a completely different team than we saw last year versus kind of the same Purdue team that we saw last year. So I think it'll be interesting. The matchups are a little bit mismatchy. I think the biggest advantage Auburn has is kind of Todd Pettiford. I think Braden Smith's a great defender and all that, but I do think Pettiford, just like when he goes into his takeover mode, I think Purdue can oftentimes struggle with that, with a star player, kind of a star guard, especially just kind of taking over the game. Things like that, whether it's shot making, getting to the free throw line, things like that. Like we saw, kind of saw in that Memphis game. I think that's a good. If there's a whistle that's on Todd Pettiford, and he does get a decent whistle when I
yeah.
watch him. If you got the whistle and you get some of these guys into foul trouble, it can cause problems. But if Purdue can keep their rotation solid and stay out of foul trouble, it looks good for them.
Yeah. All right. All things considered, Marshall Wang, what is your official prediction for this game? Who's coming out? What's the score? Who do you think performs?
Purdue money line.
Okay.
Omer Mayer is gonna have
Wow. Okay. Sleeper pick. We want to elaborate. Why Omir? Why not? Some of our starters.
because right now I feel like he kind of went on a little slump the last three games, and I can tell by the way he wants to be on the floor. He's gonna work his ass off this next week, 2 weeks, and he's gonna come out making those shots that he was supposed to make, those contact twos, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It's he. I've watched his film, and he could definitely make those. So that
Yeah.
is my pick for this game.
What's the point differential like? What's the final score? You don't have to give me like numbers straight up, but like how much do you think Purdue wins by?
-4.
4 point win.
All right.
Okay. All right. All right. I'll piggyback off of him. I actually like that out of the kid. First guest appearance. I think Purdue's got enough to slow this Auburn team down. This is going to be a. I think what we need to do is really just trust our bigs and work off them. Marshall mentioned the bench players. Omer is definitely the guy that spearheads that. I think DJ needs to come in and get good minutes, and I think they need to be able to continue the offensive efficiency that the starters bring us in order to play a full 40 minutes, which it's probably going to take against a physical team like Auburn. But curious to see how Keyshawn Hall does play because I feel like he is a little bit of a three-level scorer. He does shoot the three pretty well. Doesn't shoot a ton, but it's still something you gotta consider, and will give Purdue maybe a different look that we haven't seen yet. But I'm confident in the Boilers. I think we do get it done. I like that 4 point from Marshall, to be honest with you, but I'll say seven. I'll say 7, 8-ish. I think we get to the point where they kind of have to foul us a little bit, and then the free throws push the margin a little bit farther.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think this is a little bit of a rerun of last year, but in the opposite direction. I really don't like this matchup at all for Auburn. I think this is, you've seen when they've had mismatches against Arizona, against Michigan, they've lost by almost 20 points plus. I don't like it against Purdue. Last year I really liked it because of the size that Janai Broome and Dylan Cardwell brought in, and they were kind of be able to be physically dominant against a Purdue team that wanted to play a little bit more technical. But this year's Auburn team is not that. They don't have that interior presence. I think TKR is going to be a menace, and the only chance they really have is Keyshawn Hall getting him into foul trouble, and then it starts to become a rotation game, and then maybe Auburn can capitalize off of that. But I think there's too much one-on-one basketball that Auburn likes to play, too much isolation basketball versus a team that's very complete, very together. I think Braden Smith's going to have to take care of the ball. Auburn caused a lot of turnovers, so I think that's a key as well. So that'll be big. I don't want to see any more of these behind the back bullshit passes. I love Braden Smith, but it does piss me off sometimes when he tries to do that in close games. But I'm going to go a double digit win. I'll probably say I'm going to go 13. That's just a number I'll throw out there. I don't think I think because it's an Indy and I think Purdue wants to beat this Auburn team bad given the way that they lost last year as well. I don't think they let it kind of stay close again, make a little statement before they head into conference play.
Wow. So the show's Auburn representative takes Purdue by double digits.
Hey, I've got
That's
both here. I've got Purdue on
Oh,
the
I
hat.
know, I
I've
know,
got
I
Auburn on the
know.
shirt. So
That says a lot. I mean, there's no bias on the show, so we appreciate it as us true full all around Boiler fans. We appreciate it, but
I'm
it
here to be
should be a
right.
good game.
I'm not I'm not here to be thinking with my heart. I'm here to be thinking with my head, and I'm thinking with my head on this
I
one.
love it. I love it. Wang, any final thoughts?
Sleeper, Liam Murphy.
Oh, we're just throwing out everyone on the bench.
No, I know.
Everyone on the bench.
No, I don't know why he's like so far deep into the bench because I remember against Texas Tech, he played a pretty big role in that and was scoring threes like everywhere.
Yeah, he's a
Dan,
good shooter.
no, yeah, and if Fletch is playing like shit, I don't know why we don't bring in Liam Murphy because he's honestly bigger than Fletch and he has a nice stroke. No pause, but yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, all right, whatever that was.
Valid
But yeah,
thoughts. Um,
but no.
I did want to ask you because we did an episode before where we did our Final Four prediction. You don't have to obviously go do any research. Just off the top of your head, give me your Final Four this year.
Ooh, put him on the spot.
Yeah, you're on the spot. So,
Maybe
uh,
some just teams that you think you'll see there.
give me four teams that could make it to the Final Four.
Right now, Michigan is definitely up there. Um,
Yes.
Purdue.
Okay. Double Big Ten. Anybody else?
I really like Michigan State, but I
Oh,
can't
three Big Ten. Okay, let's just make the
yeah,
board.
I can't be a Big Ten glazer,
Hey, you don't have
I
to worry
mean,
about the
you're
conferences.
kind
It's
of
just
almost
teams.
there.
Just teams. Don't worry about the conferences.
Arizona definitely.
Okay, all right.
Okay, four. I like
I
it.
like that. I like that. Yeah.
All right.
Michigan State's an interesting one. That's probably not a popular one, but I like that.
I
Yeah.
feel like like Izzo deserves something in the next few years.
Oh, you think he's due?
Yeah.
All right, Marsh. Well,
Who's winning the Super Bowl? Last one.
oh wow,
Yep. I'm just putting. We got you on here. I want to hear all the takes.
Super Bowl.
I want to know what I need to put my futures on as the ball knower.
I think it's low key the Bills' year.
All right.
Oh,
Josh Allen and the
that's a
Bills
that's a
are
good
here
one.
first.
That's a good one. They'll be a wild card team probably. Actually, this is a big weekend for them because we're filming this before the Pats Bills game. But that's an interesting one because you probably won't have to see Mahomes, and who
No,
knows?
I don't think
Who
I doubt
knows?
they're making it to the playoffs, so I feel like this is Josh Allen's time.
No
It's
Bears,
his to
no
lose,
Bears,
huh?
no Bears, no Bears love.
Oh no.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, good. Good. All right, Wang. Well, we'll let you get back to your beach time or whatever, wherever you are. Appreciate the insight and go Boilers, right?
Yep, go Boilers. We're all riding with the Boilers in this one, so should be a fun matchup come December.
Boiler up.
Boiler up.